Hello, Poke fans. This is our first episode of Poke Weekly. I'm Nick.
I'm Reese.
And I'm Niko.
And we're going to be reviewing some of our top favorite grass-type Pokemon. Okay, so at number 5 for me, I put Victory Bell. And I really like Victory Bell because it was one of the first grass Pokemon that was actually a full evolution. And I love the fact that in Black and White, it can learn Gastro Acid and cancel out Slacking's ability. I love Slacking. He's personally my favorite all-time Pokemon. But that's not important right now. I just really like Victory Bell as a grass Pokemon, and I think he has a good moveset, and doubling with Poison, I just think it's a really good number 5 Pokemon.
Okay, on my top 5 list, number 5, I had Tangrowth. Now, the reason I chose Tangrowth is I think that he was a good addition to Tangela. Like, I know some of the ones they added, some of them were screwed up, like they really shouldn't have added them. But I think Tangrowth was a good addition to Tangela.
But is he really that different?
No.
I mean, he's just got arms.
He's just basically purple spaghetti.
He's purple
with
spaghetti.
shoes.
I don't understand how different he is. He just got taller and got some arms.
Well, yeah, that's how evolution happened.
His moves didn't really change, did
No,
they?
but
he learned hidden power.
He can learn hidden power. But I do feel that I feel he's better than Tangela.
Well, yeah.
Every evolution's better than the previous.
Exactly. So
mostly.
That's the reason I have Tangrowth over Tangela, just because it's like the bigger brother. So I think it earned a spot on my top 5 list.
Fair enough.
My 5th favorite Pokemon is Executor. I liked him because basically he was just an eggplant mixed with a pineapple. He's a good grass type Pokemon. Is that all he is? He's
grass? Psychic.
He's also psychic, and psychic happens to be one of my favorite types. And I like how he can learn psychic moves along with grass moves, where I don't really see grass and psychic as a. I'm kind of contradicting myself. Yeah, you don't see them coupled too much, but I'm contradicting myself because I don't really like grass and psychic together like Rosalia.
That's grass and poison.
Yeah.
There aren't very many grass and psychics. I believe Executor is the only.
Gardevoir.
Yeah.
Garbodor?
Gardevoir. I don't know. No. Whatever. It's not even saying
I'm pretty sure it's Garbodor.
No, that's poison.
That's
Oh.
But I don't like.
What are you talking about?
I don't really like the whole psychic and grass mixture, so that's why he's only number 5. I just like it because he looks cool.
I agree.
For the art. Okay.
And I was running out of grass Pokemon.
Number 4, I put Breloom. I really like the mixture of fighting and grass, and I think that really helps when you're coming to some weaknesses. And I just think Breloom is a really good Gen 3 Pokemon. I just feel like he is a little underrated, but I think he's got some really good stats, some really good attacks, and a really nice coupled
I don't
type.
think you're giving Breloom enough credit, because I think that he's definitely, he could be better than your 4th favorite Pokemon.
I don't know.
It depends.
Okay.
Is he even on your
Fighting
list,
in
Reese?
grass.
I don't
Reese
have.
didn't even put
I
him on
don't
his
even. I
list.
didn't even put him on my list.
Go away.
He's just a very forgettable Pokemon to me.
Go for
He's
it.
not one of those ones that sticks out. But on my number 4 list, I had Abomasnow. And
I like Abomasnow a lot.
I think it's pretty cool how he can be ice and
Because there's
grass.
not even many ice types to begin with.
Yeah, there
Which
really
ice
isn't.
is actually one of my favorite all-time types.
But I feel that the grass and ice is an interesting mix, and the fact that his call is a chainsaw, or what sounds like resembles a chainsaw.
That's just pure badassery at its finest.
And
my top 5. Oh wait, are you still going?
Of course.
Sorry, go
And most ice Pokemon can learn water moves, and I'm not positive if he
doesn't know
can
what he's
learn
talking
water
about.
moves. Yes, I
No,
do.
you
Like
don't.
Kingdra.
Kingdra is dragon and water.
Okay, well he can learn ice moves.
So?
So I think
So from Cloyster. Is Cloyster ice?
Cloyster's ice.
I thought he's dark and
No,
water.
he's ice. He's ice and water.
yeah. See, but
Oh.
I'm pretty almost positive he can learn surf.
Guys, I'm
Let's
gonna
check.
definitely have to.
Okay.
Let's reference the Pokédex on this
I'm
one.
gonna have to brush up on my Pokemon for the next podcast because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But I personally agree that Abomasnow should be on the list. I just don't know if he is up to the other standards of the Pokemon that we've already listed. Like, I love the grass ice type combination. I just don't know if it's completely 100% beneficial because, I mean, you still have the fire weakness very apparent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, every Pokemon's gonna have a weakness. And I feel that it just adds more variety of two things. One, moveset.
Yeah.
Now it's not just limited to grass moves. And two, the fact that it probably can appeal to more weaknesses, I guess.
And just to point out, the only water move Abomasnow can learn is Rain Dance.
Okay.
Rain Dance.
Well,
Okay.
Okay, that's his only water move. I just
Yeah.
searched him up to see.
Alright, Niko.
Okay.
So
Who's your number 4?
My number 4 favorite Pokemon is Tropius, because flying and grass, I really think is a good combination, because you don't see very many flying and grass Pokemon, and flying is one of grass's biggest weaknesses aside from fire. So that kind of cancels it out. Not entirely, because it still does some damage, but not as much as it would if it was just a normal grass Pokemon, or yeah, just a normal grass Pokemon.
Right.
And I like how it has a little bit more strength against ground. While ground isn't particularly strong against grass, flying also, it still helps out with that. Because you can't hit something that flies if you do an earthquake.
yeah.
I had Tropius as my number 3. And the reason I put Tropius is because I've always had trouble finding a flying Pokemon, like as a utility to learn fly. Because I really like to have a
utility, do you?
Huh? Yes, Pokemon are just utilities to me. They all serve one purpose. But he's awesome because you get the grass type, which I like to balance out my teams, like have water, fire. I like to be the strategic battler.
Honestly, that's how most people are, because I don't think a lot of people are just like, oh, let me just get 6 Rattatas like
That's
you see in
Reese.
the game.
That's Reese.
Or
No, it's
most
not.
people don't try to get like
Hey,
mostly all of one type.
slackings on your team.
Yes, I had 2
But
Slackings.
slackings are a different story. Most people, they try to balance out their team, because nobody really wants 6 water type Pokemon, because if you're going up against a grass guy, just one Pokemon could wipe
They
you out
wiped out your whole
completely.
team.
Exactly. So the reason I chose Tropius as my number 3, thanks for interrupting everybody,
Sorry.
is because you can couple the use of a flying HM and you can also get the grass type in. So you get like a double whammy almost because you can use him as, yes, I said utility again, but you also have the grass type, which that's why I put him as number 3 on my list.
Kill 2 Pidgeys with 1 Everstone. 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, so for my number 3, I chose Cacturn. And the reason I put him on there is really mainly just because of 2 things. His types,
Dark.
which
Wow.
Grass Dark, which I think is a very
so intimidating.
cool mixture. And his art. I do love the way he's designed, because we haven't really had like a cactus Pokemon before them. And I'm pretty sure, isn't he the only one that can learn like Pin Missile?
No, that's Cacnea.
And him and Cacnea. So I have.
No, then you have the
He has his
Nidorans.
evolution.
Oh,
Then
okay.
you got the Nidorans.
Okay. But as a grass Pokemon, I think with the dark, it does add just a really cool touch to it. And he's not like most grass Pokemon, like with their bright colors and their flowers and like, oh, I'm a butterfly Pokemon. I'm a flower Pokemon. Like, he's a cactus. And like, when you think evil plants,
You think of cacti.
you think of cactuses and Venus flytraps, and he's one of them. So I think I like him just because he's different. So I think that's why he earned the number 3 spot on my list.
Alright, my third favorite grass Pokemon was Ludicolo, because he is water and he is grass, which I find very nice, because if you're going up against a water type Pokemon or if you're going up against a grass type Pokemon, they kind of cancel each other out, because grass and water are each other's weak. Well, no, grass is water's weakness. Or no.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's a very nice combination when they go together because fire can't really hurt it as much since it's also water. So even if it does hit you, it might not do as much damage. But if you also attack first, you could wipe it, depending on what move you're using, you could wipe out a fire guy before he even damages your Ludicolo.
And I personally don't think you're giving Ludicolo enough credit because I think he can completely eliminate
A wide
a weakness,
variety of
a total weakness, and I feel like that is a really key quality to have if you're battling.
Now,
So for number 2, I put Skeptile. Just because he's not your average, run-of-the-mill dinosaur, flower, grass Pokemon. He's different, he's super fast, he's got really good attack, and he almost always hits first, so that's something I really like. And he's usually one of my go-to grass types if I'm looking for the balanced team. And I personally think one of his evolutions as a starter is one of the best overall. Just because it is different. It's not Venusaur or Meganium or
like Torterra.
Torterra.
And not many people
Exactly.
have a Ludicolo, and not many people brag about a Ludicolo.
We're not talking about
We're
Ludicolo.
talking
We're
about
not talking.
Skeptile.
Okay. I'm out of the loop here. I was trying to do something. All right. But still, Skeptile.
So Skeptile is number 2 on my list.
He's kind of a going down what I just said before. He's kind of something that everybody picks because he's a starter.
Okay, for my number 2, bringing back, I had Tropius. Now, the reason I put him higher is for like a collaboration of what they both said. I feel that he is like more than a utility. Like, okay, you have your team, and then like you're trying to beat the story of the game. Like you're playing the game.
Yeah.
And you need like Surf.
Okay.
Or you need Fly. Or you need Cut.
He's a utility.
Pokemon.
Yeah, but he's one of the ones that you would put on your team, but not like once you're through that stage, just whip him off. He's one of those ones that you can still use him, but he can stay on your team because he's like a contender for the team. He's like,
But you ranked him higher than Abomasnow.
I did, and
Why?
the reason I did that is because I
They're
think
both dual type.
they are both dual type, but the reason I did that I think is because Tropius is more practical.
Okay, pause game. Let's throw him into a battle. Who's gonna win?
Well, Abomasnow would win because
Exactly.
the ice over flying, but I'm putting him above because he's more practical. How
He's a utility.
often are you going to use Fly? Quite often. If you need to get from point A to point B, but they're across the map, you're not going to walk or bike. Now with ice, it doesn't have any HMs. You're not going to use an ice HM.
Right.
So I feel like they are close,
Yeah.
but I do think Tropius does come out on top.
Yeah. Okay. So, Niko, you're number 2?
My number 2 was Bulbasaur, because the first, it's more of a nostalgic effect that Bulbasaur has on me than really its power. While I do like a Venusaur once he's fully evolved.
Yeah.
The first game I ever played was Leaf Green on my old Game Boy Advanced, and he was the first Pokemon I ever chose, and he's the reason I like grass Pokemon, and almost all of my favorite Pokemon have been grass starters throughout my experience in gaming. And I just really like him because he's basically a Pokemon mixed with a flower.
And he's also
poison, which is good because poison is very effective against many.
Types.
Almost
Especially if you're going for
Not very many Pokemon have a resistance against poison.
Exactly.
Because it could affect most types, while grass is very has a bunch of resistance, or resistance against.
So now we are on to all of our number 1 grass type Pokemon. I put my number 1 grass type Pokemon as somebody we've already talked about. I chose Ludicolo as my number 1 grass type Pokemon. Strictly because the fact of completely eliminating a weakness. Because I like to think of myself as the technical battler, making moves, sets, and whatnot. But I feel like if you can completely eliminate a weakness and still stay true to your type, I think that is awesome.
And I agree with your Ludicolo because, as I said before when I was on the wrong Pokemon, Ludicolo it's not a very common Pokemon.
Exactly.
And like he does kind of add
It's underrated, and he's kind of like the underdog because when you what's his before
Lotad?
Lotad, there you go. Once you get Lotad, people are just like nobody really sticks with Lotad. They're just kind of like, whatever. Because when I first got Lotad, I kind of hated him. I thought he was a horrible Pokemon. But once he actually...
He's so cute. He's like
I know, but I just didn't like him. I feel that's why a lot of people don't stick with him.
He's just so
and then
weak,
once you get to Ludicolo, that's why, because at the beginning, people don't grab the first Pokemon out of the woods. That's what it is with Lotad. Because like nobody actually sticks with a Rattata, and nobody tries to evolve it all the way. Nobody actually loves the beginning Pokemon that you really find, besides starters, of course. So that's why I feel if somebody actually stays with Ludicolo, which not many people do, it really works out in the end.
Okay, so for my number one, I chose Meganium. And I've always loved Meganium. And even though he is, like, the classic grass Pokemon, like, he's on 4 legs, he's green, the variation of a dinosaur, the flowers around his neck, like, just very, like, when you think of grass Pokemon, he comes to mind. But the reason I ranked him so high is just because I've always loved him. Like, when I played those games, he was always the starter I chose. I always chose Chikorita.
But Feraligatr is so much better than Meganium. Purely on the fact, one word, 2 words, Ice Fang.
Okay, well, of course, you could teach any of your Pokemon the moves that you think that can make them better, but I think, judging from the Pokemon itself, I think Meganium is better than Feraligatr.
Okay.
And Typhlosion.
Alright.
And my top favorite grass Pokemon of all time is Breloom. I really like Breloom because when I first started playing Ruby, when I walked out and I found the Shroomish, I just thought he was one of the coolest Pokemon ever. Because when you are with that guy and the Team Magma or Team Aqua is trying to steal the Devon package, and then you're just like, oh wow, what just happened? That's your first battle. And a lot of the times you go in the woods beforehand to try to find out what kind of Pokemon are there. You grab a Shroomish, and really your first big fighting experience kind of starts off with your Shroomish. And you I just kind of built up a love for Shroomish. He's probably one of my top favorite Pokemon behind Gengar.
You have a Shroomish fetish?
I have a Shroomish fetish, if you will. I just really like Shroomish. He's like a little raptor, and he's a grass raptor.
You mean Breloom?
Breloom, not Shroomish. Shroomish is a mushroom, but Breloom is still pretty cool.
Dinosaur with a mushroom hat.
There you go.
So I guess that wraps it up this week for PokeWeekly. I'm Nick Russo.
I'm Reese Russo.
And I'm Nicholas Howe.
Stay pokey.